Hi, what's your all of you? How are you doing? Let's begin with the session continuation of from the previous session. In the previous session, we were discussing the buccal cavity, the first part of the alimentary canal. We were discussing the palate, teeth, and tongue, isn't it? In the previous sessions. Now let's discuss the pharynx. Pharynx. Buccal cavity leads into the pharynx, which leads to the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. So let's discuss about the pharynx. Both buccal cavity and pharynx, both of them contain some voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles which helps in the deglutition. Here pharynx contains the voluntary muscles which helps in deglutition. What is deglutition? It's nothing but swallowing of the food. We swallow the food after chewing, isn't it? That's helped by the voluntary muscles present in the pharynx. That's the first point to remember. And next point is the pharynx contains the three parts. And the pharynx is a common passage for the food and the air. That is, it's both a food passage and the air passage. We take oxygen, give out carbon dioxide to the pharynx and take the food to the pharynx. So it is a common structure which connects the digestive system and the respiratory system. That's the second point to remember. The first point is it contains the voluntary muscles and it is a common passage for food and air. And third point is the pharynx is divided into three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. So pharynx contains three parts. Upper part called as nasopharynx. Second part called as oropharynx. And third part called as a laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx. So uppermost part, this is the uppermost part. This is the middle part. And whereas laryngopharynx is the lower part. So let's discuss here now. This is a nasopharynx. Oropharynx, upper part is a nasopharynx. Oropharynx, the middle part, and the lower part of the pharynx is called as laryngopharynx. So this is the pharynx. Total structure is the pharynx here. This is the pharynx part. This is the pharynx part here. Clear? So nasopharynx, it is corresponding to the nasal cavity. Nasopharynx corresponds to the nasal cavity. See here, this is a nasal cavity. This is a nasal cavity. This structure is a nasal cavity. Nasal corresponding to the nasal cavity is a nasopharynx. Naso means nose cavity. Nose cavity is a nasal cavity and nasopharynx is corresponding to the nasal cavity. And middle part is a oropharynx. The middle part is a oropharynx which is corresponding to the oral cavity. Middle part called as oropharynx corresponding to the oral cavity. What is oral cavity? Buccal cavity or mouth cavity with the teeth and tongue are present as oral cavity. Oropharynx corresponds to the oral cavity. This is a mouth cavity or oral cavity and this is a nasal cavity here. Oropharynx to the oral cavity here. And the lower part is called as laryngopharynx. The laryngopharynx is corresponding to the larynx here. This is the larynx. What is larynx? Larynx means the voice box. The voice box or sound box is called as larynx. Where the sound is produced, that's called as larynx. So laryngopharynx, the lower part is corresponding to the larynx here. Clear, students? And between the nasopharynx and the oropharynx, what is present? Soft palate is present. What is present? Soft palate. The palate is a structure present in the oral cavity, isn't it? So corresponding to this, between the nasopharynx and oropharynx, what's the structure present plus a soft palate? Because a palate consists of the anterior most part, the front part is called as hard palate, and the back part, whose posterior part is called as soft palate. This soft palate demarcates, separates the nasopharynx from the oropharynx. Clear? So these are nasopharynx. Let's elaborate now. This is the nasopharynx corresponding to the nasal cavity. And nasopharynx, for example, this is a nasopharynx. This is structure I'm drawing here. And here is a middle ear. Here is again another middle ear. Two middle ears are there. One to the right side, another left side. So external ear, middle ear, inner ear. External, middle and inner. I'm not speaking about the other two ears here. Okay. So this is a middle ear and middle ear. This is connected. What is this one? Nasopharynx. NP I'm writing here. The nasopharynx is connected to the middle ear. Here like this. The nasopharynx are again connected to the middle ear. But what are these tubes called as? The eustachian tubes. Eustachian tubes. One to the right side, other to the left side. So the middle ear towards the right side is connected to the nasopharynx. The middle ear of this side is also connected to the nasopharynx. What are these tube-like structures called as the eustachian tubes? The eustachian tubes are made of elastic cartilage. Eustachian tubes are made of elastic cartilage. So that's all about the nasopharynx, the upper part. Okay, next one is the oropharynx, the middle part. The oropharynx is corresponding to which one? The oral cavity. Between the nasopharynx and oropharynx, what is present here? Corresponding to this one is a soft palate present, because the soft palate is present in the oral cavity towards the posterior side. That's why the nasopharynx is separated from the oropharynx by the which one? The soft palate. Very important. Clear, students, all of you? So next one is a laryngopharynx. Let's discuss now. Laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx is the lower part of the pharynx. This is a laryngopharynx, here drawn as the red ones. This is a laryngopharynx. The red one which is drawn here, this one up to from here to here is a laryngopharynx. The lower part of the pharynx is called as laryngopharynx. This is the nasopharynx. The black one which is drawn, which is corresponding to the nasal cavity, is a nasopharynx. And this blue structure which is drawn here is called as oropharynx, is corresponding to the oral cavity. And laryngopharynx from here to here, which is drawn here, red structure, is a laryngopharynx, which is corresponding to the larynx here. Because it corresponds to the larynx, is called as laryngopharynx. The lower part is called as laryngopharynx. See here, this is a very, very important structure. Why? Because see, the laryngopharynx is connected on one side to the larynx. See here, I am drawing here separately. This is a laryngopharynx. LP I am writing here, laryngopharynx. Towards this side, what is present? Larynx is present here. This is a larynx, voice box. And towards this side is a esophagus. This is a esophagus. Esophagus. That is, can you see here? Laryngopharynx is connected on one side to the larynx, on other side to the esophagus. What is larynx? It is a connection of the respiratory system, whereas esophagus is a connection of the digestive system. That is, we can say that what's the bottom line here? The laryngopharynx, or in general pharynx, is connected both to the respiratory system and also digestive system here. That's the bottom line here. How this is possible? Let's elaborate here now. Clear. So the laryngopharynx is connected to the esophagus through a small opening here. For example, this is an opening, and this opening is called as a gullet. Gullet is an opening between the laryngopharynx and the esophagus. Laryngopharynx is connected to the esophagus through a small opening called as a gullet, through which the food enters from the laryngopharynx into the esophagus, like this here. The food enters through the laryngopharynx into the esophagus with a small opening called as gullet. Okay. Next one is the laryngopharynx is also connected to the larynx, I told you. And the larynx down here is connected here to the trachea here. Here is the trachea. This is the trachea. And these are the bronchi. And here lungs are present. Clear? So I'm not drawing total diagram here. So the laryngopharynx is connected to the larynx. How? Through a small opening here. Through a small opening. And that's called as glottis. What is the opening called as a glottis? Laryngopharynx is connected to the larynx through the small opening called as glottis. So laryngopharynx, I told you that the food enters. But there is a chance that when we eat the food through the laryngopharynx, the food can be entering through the glottis into the larynx. Is it not possible? Yes, it is possible. If this arrangement is to be continued, there is a chance that the food which is entering into the laryngopharynx can enter into the larynx through the glottis. Glottis is a small opening which connects the laryngopharynx with the larynx. And to the glottis, there is a chance that food is entering. But is the food entering into the larynx? And from larynx to the trachea? And from trachea into the bronchi into the lungs? Is it happening? If it is continued, the food can enter here in this direction, damage the lungs. But it's not possible, bacho. Why? Because an amazing structure is present here, and that's called as a epiglottis. What is this one called as a epiglottis? Epiglottis is a cartilaginous flap-like structure which can be opened and closed. It's a flap. You see here, this can be opened and closed. Opened and closed here, like this. Okay, it's a flap-like structure. And epiglottis is guarding the glottis. When we take the food enters only into the esophagus, but not into the larynx. Why? Because the epiglottis closes the glottis. When the epiglottis closes the glottis, the food is not entering into the larynx, but enters only into the esophagus in this direction. The food enters only into the esophagus, but not into the larynx here, because of the presence of the elastic cartilage structure called as epiglottis here. In this way, we can say that the laryngopharynx in particular and pharynx in general, we can say that it is a common passage for the food and the air. That is, it is connecting, the pharynx is connecting the respiratory system with the digestive system. That's about it here. Okay, students. And the nasopharynx, now tonsils. Tonsils of pharynx. Tonsils are the lymphoid organs, lymphoid structures, and associated with the lymphatic system. Lymphocytes which provide the immunity to the human body. That's a lymphoid structure, lymphoid organ. Tonsils are the secondary lymphoid organs. Here what is the pharyngeal tonsils or tonsils of the pharynx. And there are three types of tonsils of pharynx out there. One is called as the pharyngeal tonsils. Pharyngeal tonsils. Also called as adenoids. Pharyngeal palatine tonsils. Palatine tonsils. And lingual tonsils. Lingual tonsils. One pair each here. This is one pair, one pair, one pair. One pair of pharyngeal tonsils are also called as the adenoids, are present in the upper part of the nasopharynx. These are present in the upper part of nasopharynx. That's the location of pharyngeal tonsils, which are also called as adenoids, present in the upper part of the nasopharynx. Next one is the palatine tonsils. Palatine tonsils, as the name indicates, they are associated with the palate. Where is the palate present? The palate is present in the oropharynx, isn't it? The palate is present in here in the oral cavity. The palate is present in the oral cavity. That is, palatine tonsils are associated with the which one? Oropharynx, because oropharynx is associated with the oral cavity. Okay, palatine tonsils because they are associated with the oral cavity and on either side of the oropharynx. For example, here is the oropharynx present. Here is one palatine tonsil. Here is another palatine tonsil. This is the oropharynx. On either side, one to the right side, other to the left side, these palatine tonsils are present towards the oral cavity here. On either side of the oropharynx. Next one is the lingual tonsils. One pair of lingual tonsils are present here. Where is that lingual? Lingual means which one? Lingua. Lingua means associated with the tongue, isn't it? Lingua. This is the tongue. One on either here. This part. Here. This is the pharyngeal part, isn't it? So, at the base of the pharyngeal part here, the pair of lingual tonsils are present at the base of the tongue. This is the tongue. At the base of the tongue, the lingual tonsils are present. Lingual tonsils are present at the base of the tongue. One pair of lingual tonsils are present. All these are associated with which one? Pharynx. Nasopharynx contains one pair of pharyngeal tonsils towards the upper side. Palatine tonsils are present, one on either side of the oropharynx. And lingual tonsils are present. One pair of lingual tonsils are present at the base of the tongue here. These pharyngeal tonsils are the lymphoid organs. Lymphoid organs. Clear, students? That's all about the pharynx, my dear students. Next one is the structure called as esophagus. Now, pharynx leads into the esophagus, and esophagus leads into the stomach. Let's discuss about now esophagus. So here is a rough diagram of esophagus, for example. It leads to a very narrow structure here called as esophagus. This is the pharynx, and this is the esophagus. Esophagus is a thin-walled structure, very long structure, very lengthy, almost 10 inches long, roughly 10 inches long, and passes through the neck. Esophagus passes through the neck, thorax, down into the diaphragm here. Isn't it? This is the thoracic region, neck region here, isn't it? Here is the pharyngeal region, neck region, it passes through the neck region, down into the thorax, chest region here. Okay, this region, chest region, and down it passes, then it proceeds, then curves into the very important structure here called as stomach. So this is the esophagus, this is the stomach. Okay, here, stomach. So the esophagus leads into the stomach here. The esophagus is a thin walled, long, 10 inches long, and passes along the neck region, thorax, down into the diaphragm. Here is a diaphragm present here, isn't it? This here is a diaphragm present. Dome-shaped structure, here is a diaphragm present. This is the diaphragm. Okay. A dome-shaped structure which separates the thoracic region. Here, entire upper part above the diaphragm is the thoracic region. Below the diaphragm is the abdominal region, isn't it? So this is the diaphragm. This esophagus pierces. Isn't it? So this esophagus pierces like this down to the diaphragm and enters the abdomen. There it joins the which one? It starts the stomach region. This is the upper part of the stomach region here. That is, esophagus is continued behind as stomach. And here is a structure here called as esophageal sphincter, called as gastroesophageal sphincter. Gastroesophageal sphincter. Also called as a cardiac sphincter or lower esophageal sphincter. So between the esophagus and the stomach, there is a gastroesophageal sphincter. Anything gastro means related with the stomach. Here esophageal, gastroesophageal sphincter. Why? Because it is present between the esophagus and the stomach. It's also called as cardiac sphincter because very near to this part, heart is located. That's why here it's called as a cardiac sphincter. And this is a lower esophageal sphincter as differentiated from the upper esophageal sphincter here. This here is between the pharynx and the esophagus. There is an upper esophageal sphincter. Now, what is a sphincter? The sphincter means a muscle which regulates the any passage only in the forward direction, but not in the backward direction. That's a sphincter. It's a muscle. It's a smooth muscle which regulates the passage only in the forward direction but not in the backward direction. That is a function of a sphincter here. And upper esophageal sphincter and the lower esophageal sphincter is there. So that the food is passed only from the esophagus into the stomach but not in the reverse direction, vice versa. Now let's see this esophagus. Esophagus, important point, is made of non-keratinized, stratified squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelial tissue. So it's made, esophagus is made of the epithelial tissue here called as a non-keratinized, there is no keratin deposition, stratified squamous epithelium. Very important tidbit. Now that's all about the esophagus, bacho. Now let's discuss the another next important structure here called as the stomach. Okay, bacho, all of you. The stomach now. The stomach contains the three parts. The upper part where the esophagus leads to the stomach is called as cardiac stomach. Cardiac stomach. The esophagus leads to the stomach. That part, very narrow part, almost this part here, up to this part is called as cardiac stomach. Very narrow part. And is followed by the main part of the stomach called as the fundic stomach. Fundic stomach. The main part is fundus, means main part. Is the main body of the stomach is the fundus or fundic stomach. Almost up to here, the main part is the fundic stomach. And here very narrow part, here very narrow part is there which leads to the duodenum here. This is called as the pyloric stomach here. This is called as the pyloric stomach or pylorus. Pylorus, very narrow part here. Up to here is the fundic stomach, and there starts now the pyloric stomach, and from here to here there is a very important curvature is there, and this is called as a loop shape here. A loop is there, and that's called as here. What is this loop called as the duodenum? Duodenum here. Your foreign students, duodenum here. So this pyloric stomach leads into the duodenum. Getting my point of view? So it's a J-shaped structure called as the stomach. So what is the shape of the stomach? What is almost roughly a J-shaped structure here? It's a J-shaped structure, isn't it? The J shape is like this here. That's why it's a J-shaped stomach. Okay, consists of the three parts called as a cardiac stomach, very narrow part, followed by the main part called as fundus or fundic part, is followed by the pylorus or pyloric stomach is followed. The pyloric stomach is continued behind as duodenum. Duodenum, jejunum and ileum are the three parts of the small intestine. So the first part, this pyloric stomach leads into the which one? The duodenum. Between the pyloric stomach and the duodenum, here is another sphincter present, and that's called as a pyloric sphincter here. Pyloric sphincter. The pyloric sphincter regulates the passage of the incomplete food from the stomach into the duodenum only in the forward direction. That is, the food enters from the stomach into the duodenum but not in the reverse direction because of the presence of the pyloric sphincter. Clear, students? Which regulates the passage of the food. So what's the location of stomach now? The stomach is located below the diaphragm. Stomach is located below the diaphragm. Number one, it is present towards the left side of the diaphragm here. below the diaphragm in the abdominal cavity, upper abdominal cavity. This is the upper abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm. Towards the left side, the J-shaped stomach is present. Stomach is an organ of storage of the food for almost 3 to 4 hours. It's also an organ for the temporary digestion of the food. Food is only temporarily digested, okay, partly digested in the stomach. Food is only the partly digested in the stomach, not completely digested, because in the duodenum and other parts of small intestine, the food is totally digested here. Okay, students of you, that's all about the stomach. The next part is a crucial part, what is our duodenum, followed by jejunum and ileum, three parts of the small intestine. And after small intestine, there is a large intestine, which we'll be discussing in the next video lecture. Hope you enjoyed my session, all of you. Bye, all of you students.